let's get right into this review for Black Bag. Alright, so Black Bag is directed by Steven Soderbergh, who also directed Presence, which is another film that came out fairly recently. And honestly, that aspect alone got me pretty excited to check this film out. And to get right into the main question, how was the story here? After having spent a decent chunk of time pondering about the film post-screening, I have to say, I thoroughly found this film to be an all-around enjoyable experience. There's unquestionably a ton of built-in depth and layers within the story presentation here, and without a doubt, I was able to get a sense of the passion and love poured into the screenplay, even with some of the more evident flaws shining through the cracks, which I'll dwell into later. Now, the story follows a high-level intelligence agent, George Woodhouse, played by Michael Fassbender. The character is given a new case to work on that essentially becomes a whodunit mystery, but with a more sophisticated and stylistic spin to the narrative, compared to other typical whodunit films. With that being said, there's undoubtedly a lot of twists and turns you can expect here in this dialogue-centric narrative. So if you aren't into the aspects of twists and turns being a prevalent concept, and also aren't a fan of heavy dialogue, this espionage story here will definitely end up disappointing you. This isn't the easiest film to digest, and I'd say I probably understood about 80 to 85% of the context after having viewed the film once and pondered about it for a while post-screening. Now, to get into the positives, I love the acting from the entire cast. You get to see some great performances from all of them at one point or another, and especially from Michael Fassbender as the main lead. I thought he had a fantastic presence and helped to carry the story up until its conclusion. The cinematography and set locations were great and definitely paired well with the story. I also found the espionage tone of the film to come through loud and clear, so props to the team for creating a fun, make-believe world. As for the negatives, to start off, I found many of the side characters to be pretty bare bones and lackluster. Sure, they throw out some witty or clever dialogues here and there at different points in the story, but I never found myself to ever care for any one of them throughout the acts, except for the main lead. Another negative is that sometimes the dialogue did feel a bit too on the nose, especially for a story where intelligent characters are trying to outwit each other. I just found some of the more dumbed down dialogues, clearly for exposition's sake, to feel a bit more apparent with this particular narrative. I also did think a few of the plot twists didn't work as well compared to some of the others, but that's inevitably going to happen when plot twists become a common occurrence. My final score for Black Bag ends up being 8 out of 10. This was a solid time for me. If you're into the plot twists and dialogue-centric focus within espionage films, I think you'll find yourself having a solid time here. But for anyone else, I can easily see this being a slow burn slog that may have you walking out of the theaters before the conclusion. Thanks for checking this review out. I should have one more review coming up this week, so stay tuned for that, and I shall see you on my next upload. Until then, peace.